I'm Miss Mila Rose and welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking all about pros and cons of what it's like to be an adult entertainer. And some of you might be sitting here trying to figure out if adult entertainment is something that is right for you. You might be in your head weighing the pros and the cons, and I'm here to give you some insight as to what I think some of those pros and cons are. And then hopefully that'll help you understand for yourself what is the best decision to make based on those pros and cons and what it is you need for your life. Some of you might also be here just because you're completely interested in what it means to be an adult entertainer, the pros and the cons that an adult entertainer deals with on a regular basis. Regardless of the reason why you're here, stick around because I'm going to list 7 pros and cons of what it means to be an adult entertainer. Pro number 1, you are your own boss. Now, why is this a good thing and what makes this a pro? Well, for obvious reasons, you don't have to follow other people's instructions. You get to dictate your own life as well as your own career. Making your own decisions means you're going to be super flexible, and that opens up your schedule, and it also opens up the possibilities massively. It opens up leadership opportunities for you and a position to be in control of your own life and your career. And that is something that a lot of people strive and wish that they had, to be able to be their own boss and not have to work under someone else. However, of course, there's downsides to every single pro, and for every single pro, I have a con. For this one particularly, it is going to be an inconsistent flow of income. When you're hired to do a job, and unless it is a job that you earn based on commissions, you are going to be told what your income is per month or per week or bi-weekly. And this is something that you expect as long as you maintain what your job requirements ask you to do, that you're gonna make this exact number every single week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever, what have you. And that is something that gives you a very consistent flow, stability flow, and being able to feel a peace of mind. That is a con for adult entertainers because the income is so inconsistent. You could have a really good month, you could have a really bad month. You could be doing everything right and you can still flop in one of your months, and it might not be your fault at all. Every independent business goes through the stress of inconsistent flow of income, and for adult entertainers, it's no different, and it's stressful and it can be uneasy, and you can always be wondering and fearful of when the next paycheck is coming in, and that's something that adult entertainers deal with on a regular basis and is a big con to being your own boss. Pro number 2, you can make your own hours. Now, you might have an inconsistent flow of income, however, being able to make your own hours is so important for so many people who just can't hold a 9-to-5 job for various reasons. Whatever that reason may be, whether it be something that you just can't make work with your schedule, with your life, or you're just more of a free spirit and you need to be able to have more of a flexible schedule, being your own boss and being an adult entertainer allows you the freedom and possibilities of creating your own schedule, your own hours, and your own workflow. The con for making your own work hours is you need to hold yourself responsible, take accountability, and have work ethic. Making sure that you're actually following the schedule that you set for yourself, the hours, your workflow. It isn't something that's easy to do. Most people struggle with this, and it's not something that a lot of people just get right off the bat. It's something that you have to learn and develop over time. If you had a job that was 9 to 5, you have your boss and employees that will hold you accountable for you being on time and showing up and doing the work that you're supposed to be doing. When you're your own boss, you have to make sure that you are doing all those things and no one is going to hold you accountable for that. You need to make sure that you're on time. You need to make sure that you're following your own schedule. You need to make sure that you're doing all of your job requirements that you set as expectations for yourself on a daily basis, weekly basis, whatever, what have you. Work ethic is extremely key with being your own boss, and especially when you're an adult entertainer. Pro number 3 is you get to work from anywhere. And this goes hand in hand with creating your own schedule because you have so much freedom of what your work is, how you perform your work, when you do your work, and where you work from. As long as you have internet, and even if you don't have internet, you can film and you can create footage that you can upload later at a source of internet. Some examples of why this might be really, really important to you is for A, if you are a free spirit and you love traveling and that's something that you live for and you just want to travel your entire life, being able to take your work with you allows you to make that a reality. Another reason why this might be very important to you is, for example, if you have say a spouse who's in the military. and you don't know if they're gonna have new orders to relocate. This can be very, very key to be able to take your work with you because you don't know if you're gonna have to move really soon. And if you're not living in a stable location of you have to move around, being able to take your work with you is so, so key. Not everyone is completely capable of being able to stay in one location stably and be able to work from there long term because sometimes their family obligation comes first and they have to move. So that can be a deal breaker for you to be able to be your own boss, work from wherever you want to, and make your own hours. The con for being able to take your work with you, and I only put this as the con for this one because it kind of ties into the sense of freedom, is keeping secrets and the stigmatization attached to being an adult entertainer. Sure, you have the freedom to move around and do as you please, go where you want, and you're not tied down to a physical location, but depending on who you associate with and what you're comfortable with people knowing about you, you might be forced or feel forced to keep secrets from people of what you truly do for a living. And that can be something that is a huge deal breaker for you. Or maybe you just can't do this if, say, you still live at home and your parents could easily figure out what you're doing. I, for one, know how hard it is to keep secrets. I do it myself, and I hate doing it. I'd rather be real with everyone about who I am and everything I do and everything that I am. But that's just not the reality for adult entertainers for so many reasons. For one, you can't just allow your identity to be leaked because that is a huge risk factor of potential stalkers. And well, you get the idea. It can be scary and you can't just be completely honest and open about who you are. That's why we take on stage names. That's why we do geographical blocking. That's why our birthdays may be fake as well. And of course, the other reason might be because your family members you know will not approve of you, or you believe that they will not approve of what you do, or your friend. Whatever the reason, whoever it may be, you might feel obligated or compelled to keep who you are and what you do a secret from even those who are close to you. Not only that, but there is a level of stigmatization that applies to adult entertainers where people do look down upon them just simply because they don't understand. The whole con of keeping secrets and the attachment of stigmatization can be a huge, huge downfall for those who are considering being an adult entertainer and might be the make it or break it for you whether or not you choose that this is something that you're able to live with. Keep in mind that I'm sure that there are adult entertainers out there who don't really feel like the stigma applies to them and they don't feel the need to keep any secrets from anyone. And that could be you. And you could rock with that and roll with that, and that could be great for you. Not everyone feels that way. Many people do feel the need to keep secrets, at least from one person in their life, as well as having a stage name to protect their real identities from people who might have the wrong intentions with them. Pro number 4, you can work whenever you want, whenever you feel like it. You could work 6 months of the year and take 6 months vacation, or work a few days a week, or work just a few hours a day. It's completely your choice when you work, and you can take days off whenever you want and feel like it. That sounds amazing, right? But here's the con. You don't have sick days, you don't have vacation days, you don't have benefits, you can't take leave that's paid for. You have to make sure that you're financially stable to take those days off, to take the time off, go on vacation, and make sure that it's working for you. And this is something that ties strongly in with work ethic because you can essentially take whenever you want off as long as you have the work ethic to make sure that you're good for that vacation time that you plan to take off. However, what that might mean is that you're not completely flexible to just say, hey, tomorrow I'm gonna go for like 2 weeks and take vacation. You might need like a week or two to prepare and plan yourself to make sure that you have things that are released, maybe pre-recorded and pre-uploaded for scheduled release dates. You might have to go through your income and savings and make sure that you're good. Whatever it is, you have to make sure and micromanage yourself and figure it out if you're able to take that time off and how you're gonna make that happen. Everyone who is in the adult entertainment industry can agree that it is super, super cool that you get to buy all of this lingerie and expensive makeup and all of this equipment to make yourself look really nice and go on cam and hang out and have fun. It is so, so much fun. And you can have a blast doing it. I'm personally able to use my job as a creative release and outlet so that it turns into more of like an art form because I'm super nerdy and artistic in that way. So you can just have a lot of fun with it. And you can text right off all of your lingerie and your expensive makeup products and your camming equipment and your filming equipment that is super, super cool, right? But of course, it has to come with a con, and that is that being an adult entertainer is hard work and it can be stressful. Having to hold yourself accountable, having to create your own work ethic, your own schedule, your own hours, to work hard, to make sure you get your name out there, to build a kingdom for yourself, to build yourself up there, grow your following. It is so, so much work. And if you put that work in, yeah, there's gonna be a curve where you eventually kind of start riding the wave. So what happens is all of the work that you put in actually starts paying off, but you still have to continuously and keep working harder and harder and harder if you want to get to the next level. It is so much hard work, and I can't stress that enough, to be an adult entertainer. Even running your own business, whether it be in the adult entertainment industry or not, is so much hard work that yes, where it's fun, it can also be a lot of work and very stressful. Pro number 7, personal growth and skill sets. You get to develop all of this while being your own boss. You basically are put into this position where you have so many things that you have to learn how to do. You have to learn how to micromanage your business, yourself, everything from finances to your availability, your schedule, your hours. You have to develop your work ethic so that you can hold yourself accountable to be there on time, to get things done, to make sure things are running smoothly. And you have to learn technology. You have to figure out your equipment. You have to figure out what sells and what doesn't. You have to figure out these sites, these cam sites, these clip sites. There's so much you need to learn about the industry itself, about model release forms, about how to do your taxes as your own boss. If you're working on projects with other models, other people, you might have to learn leadership skills to be able to handle all of what's going on and make sure that everything works out smoothly the way it's supposed to. There's so many things that you can learn by being an adult entertainer, and most people going in don't already have those skill sets. I would say there's definitely more younger models that are starting out than older, so more likely than not, you are probably underdeveloped as a person and you don't have the same skill sets as someone who's older and more experienced. However, if you are older and more experienced, then this will be a lot easier for you in terms of work ethic, leadership skills. But yeah, there's just so much you have to learn, so inevitably you are going to grow and develop as a person, and also your skill sets are going to grow and develop as well, which is hugely positive. Is it a lot of work? Yeah, but it pays off. Because here's the con, and it's honestly not really a con if you really, really think about it. So the con I have for this is time limits and what the plan is going to be after. And what I mean by that is more than likely, you're not going to be able to work in the adult industry forever. So models going into the adult entertainment industry kind of have a time limit, because usually the models who are most successful are a little bit on the younger age. Certainly, you can definitely be like a MILF style, or you can just be in your 30s and still be successful. However, the larger audiences usually draw towards those models in their 20s. And once you start getting older, you could start falling off, or you might just not have the same booming effect that you once did. So in a way, age plays a huge, huge part and impact of time limit and how long you can really actually genuinely do adult work consistently and still be getting the same rewards for the same work that you're putting into your job. And again, this isn't a bad thing at all, because while you're working in the adult industry, you are learning all those skill sets and you're developing yourself so much that you can now move on and do something else with all of this that you've taken and learned from this job, essentially. So I guess the true con here is you have to make sure that you have a plan B or an after plan. What is it that you want to do when you're done adult work? Not to say that you can't do adult work forever, but once you hit your 40s, it starts getting a little hard. I would say, at least for most models. But just remember that even if you need to have an after plan, that isn't a bad thing, and that's not scary at all, because with all of the growing and the learning that you do being in the adult industry, It's gonna help you figure out who you are, what you enjoy doing, and it's going to give you those skill sets that you need to start your own business in something else that might be completely outside of adult entertainment. So those are the 7 pros and cons that I have listed here in my notebook, and it's a really hard decision to make. For me, it was kind of a no-brainer because I was in certain situations where it did force my hand in a way. I mean, I wasn't forced at all, but it just made the most sense to do adult entertainment for me. And I ended up finding my niche in it. I was able to use the adult industry as a way to release all of my creativity and make an art form out of it because I'm such an art nerd. And now I can say I truly enjoy what I do, and I don't feel like it's something that I ever was forced to do and that I ever just really had to do. It's something that I've been enjoying, and it's something that has kind of turned into a hobby for me, but something that is also my career, which is really, really cool. And I've definitely developed myself immensely as a person and developed many, many skill sets that I couldn't say that I had 5 years ago. So my general takeaway for being an adult entertainer, and if that's something you're gonna choose to do or not, it's not for everyone, and for some people, it's just a temporary thing of finding financial stability and possibly just personal exploration. If you are searching for yourself and traveling is a way that helps you do that, maybe having the flexibility of being able to work wherever you want, whenever you want, can really help you figure yourself out and give you that time that you need to grow as a person personally and figure out what it truly is that you want to do. For other people, you might just need this as an opportunity to pay the bills for now, and that's completely okay. As long as you're able to weigh the pros and cons and you can see that it is worth it for you and it's the best decision for you and it's good for you, then go ahead and do it. Sure, there's a stigmatization attached to adult entertainment work, but that doesn't make you a bad person and it doesn't mean it's a bad job. And of course, there's going to be plenty of people who decide to weigh the pros and cons, say, yep, this is exactly what I want to do. I want to do this long term, and this is going to be my life career. And that's completely okay. I was mainly doing this out of temporary means, but I have created my own career out of this, and I have enjoyed it so much, and I have built myself up so much that, yeah, I do think that this is something that is my career and is way more long-term than I ever thought it would become. And that's okay to not know either. It's okay to go in this not knowing what you want from it. Maybe you will just use it as a personal growth experience. Maybe you will just use it as a temporary financial means. Maybe you will be building a long-term career out of this. And maybe you will just be working on this for several years to gain skill sets and to move on to that second plan B option that you have that you really, really want to do in the future. Sex work can be really, really fun and really empowering. And being able to create your own small business is super cool, super amazing. You can develop so many skill sets and grow as a person. It is amazing. But not everyone can handle the stigmatization attached to it, and it can be lonely when you're keeping secrets, which also can make you feel separated from society. It's definitely not something that's for everyone, and a lot of people might have to make compromises. Weighing some of the pros to some of the cons, some people might have to just create some compromises and say, you know what, I really, really need to be able to work wherever I want from right now. And if that means that I'm going to have some stigma attached to me or that I need to keep some secrets, oh well, I need to make that compromise. And some people might feel the need and be in a necessary position like that. And then there's going to be other people who want to enjoy the ride, enjoy the experience, and that is completely okay. For those who choose to do adult entertainment out of a feel of need of necessity, you could view it as a cup half full, half empty. You could view it with the negatives, like I definitely used to at some point in my career, or you can view it as positives. Just see how much you're capable of being able to do when you own your own small business versus all of the negatives that might be attached to it, which usually just are in your head anyway, like the stigma attached to it and feeling of loneliness. This is usually something that is just in your head and you're kind of manifesting it, but you can look at it with more of a positive mindset and see all of the benefits and the positives that come with it. Of course, this is always going to be your choice to make and your opportunity to weigh the pros and cons and figure out if this is something that you want to give a try. Never ever go into a job feeling like you have to do something and that you actually hate and don't want to do it. If you feel like you don't want to do adult entertainment work and that's the first thing that comes in your head and the last thing that you think of, then probably this isn't for you, at least not for right now. With all this being said, I really do hope this video was helpful for people to figure out the pros and the cons and weigh them accordingly and figure out if this is something that they want to do or not, and helped other people gain an insight into what it is like to be an adult entertainer. Or for those of you who are already an adult entertainer, maybe you were able to relate to this. For some people, you can definitely feel a little alienated from society when you're in the adult entertainment industry because not everybody might know what you're actually doing in reality. On that note, if you enjoyed my video and want me to keep making content just like this, please give me a big thumbs up, subscribe down below, turn on the notifications, and I'll see you guys next time with another video. Bye for now.